I didn't realize they also did interviews. Or at least a fake one. Hopefully, I can soon get this into a video format, because the audio work is phenomenal in this one. Normally, I would just write up the name right next to the sentence and let it go on. But since this is a conversation, I tried, and halfway through, I gave up and abbreviated it. Sorry if it's an eyesore, but I'm too lazy to fix it. Anyway, enjoy. Wendigo Grandma. Radio show host. Hello, listener. If you are hearing this, I am out of the studio today. And this is a recording of today's story. This will be an interview with a very special guest that I had to go see for myself. So much so that I had to go to Long Beach to see her. I'll stop talking and let the interview speak for itself. This is an interview with the titular Wendigo Grandma, who was interviewed by yours truly. Radio show host. So, the first question is, what do you do all day? You are the so-called Wendigo of the beach, or as your family calls you, Wendigo Grandma, or a more loving nickname, Wendy Grandma. Wendy Grandma.
I love those nicknames, especially from my boys. What I do all day is mainly go outside, smoke my pipe, tend to the garden, eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then go to sleep. I am quite a boring person, despite what I look like.
Yes, I realize this is mainly audio format. Can I describe you real quick?
Of course, dearie.
Right now, I see an 8-foot-tall, 61-year-old woman with a deer skull for a face, antlers in all, large teeth, and claws like steak knives. She is wearing a lovely polka dot dress. And may I say, what big eyes she has.
I see why you are the radio show host.
Yes, now, my second question is, are your boys like you?
No, they are not. And thank the spirits they aren't.
Can I ask what they are doing?
Yes, but I will have to be vague.
That's fine. I completely understand.
My oldest is a police officer in Oregon, while my younger grandson is still in school. Both are doing great, by the way.
All right. I guess this is my last question until we get to the big one. What is your tribe like? I have interviewed many Native American tribes in the past, but I have never interviewed anyone from your tribe.
Ah, I knew this question would come up. The Windolkin tribe, or the Wendigo tribe, as others would call us, were originally outcasts from different tribes before everyone came from Europe. Of course, that's not what they were called before. No one really remembers what they were called. But all this happened roughly 300 years before they left. From what I remember, the elders told us that this tribe was originally formed in roughly the New Mexico and Texas area. They migrated up to Washington State and the border of Canada. The local tribe that was there before didn't appreciate them being there. They tried to exterminate them. They didn't expect them to do what they did. They made a deal with the cannibalistic spirits of the mountains. And from that day, every single tribe member that was born had to wear a mask of an animal skull.
Apologies, but I want to ask about this now. Do your grandsons have this mask?
Yes, they do. Any more questions before I continue?
No, please continue.
For this newfound power, the Windolkin tribe exterminated them instead. There were unforeseen consequences to this, mainly my predicament, but I lived with it. Primarily, the population of natural Wendigos went up significantly. You can read more about that from the settlers' tales. Let's just say it was not fun for anyone to live in the region of Oregon and Washington.
If you don't mind me asking, for the listeners at home, what's the difference between a natural Wendigo and the tribe's Wendigos?
Good question. The difference between the two is that one is made from desperation and born into it. The natural one is the spirit going into a body and creating a natural Wendigo. You know the story of two men who go up the mountain in a snowstorm that snows them in, and one eats the other, creating, well, you know what I mean by now. My fellow tribe members and I are not natural. We are... I'm looking for a word.
Artificial?
Yes, I believe that's the word. Artificial. And how we get to this. We have to eat meat to become this. Not just human meat, but any meat. Although human meat does do something to us if we decide to eat it. Oh, the natural ones don't have to wear deer skulls or animal skulls, and are generally larger.
Okay, what does human flesh do to you and your tribe members?
Well, I could tell you, but it's how I got to be this way. So how about I just tell you the story of how I became the Wendigo Grandma?
Go right ahead.
I believe it was 8 years after the Great War. I think it was one of the Asian countries. Something about a new ideology was coming up over there. I didn't really pay attention, and I didn't really look it up either. Even today, I still don't really know what happened. I was too young to join the Great War back then. The men who came back seemed different. I will say this. My tribe are dour people. I believe you can guess this by now. But even then, they were quiet. I had an older brother, and my father went with him. My brother didn't return, and my father was very quiet after the war. He told me my brother succumbed to the spirit within him, and he had to put him down. A new war had begun, and they were looking for recruits for shock troops. I was a rebellious girl back then, and ignoring my father's and mother's warnings, I signed up. I went to boot camp, which wasn't nearly as bad as people said. But it was very suspicious that it was only a week of training. I got shipped off, and I will not sugarcoat it. It was hell. It was hot and humid, and dysentery was everywhere. There were literal rivers of blood. My spirit was not happy about the heat, but was ecstatic about the amount of human corpses. I can't remember how long I'd been there before I snapped. All I really remember is being in a daze and being so hungry, eating nothing but salads and nutrient bars. But all I wanted was meat. I remember walking until I saw a dead soldier. I dropped to my knees and bit into him. My mind went blank until my sergeant pulled me off. I was about to slash his throat until I came back to my senses, and my transformation started. This is after my daughter was born, and yes, I was that bad of a kid back then. If you would have asked me, what would I instead go through? My transformation or childbirth? It would have been childbirth every single time. The transformation requires the spirit to merge with your soul and change your body so it may take it over. I didn't eat enough flesh for that to happen, but my body did change. My bones lengthened, my skin changed to bark, and my mask fused to my face. My antlers cracked through my skull. There was so much blood that it blinded me from whatever else. I felt my hands become claws, my jaw lengthening, and my human teeth being pushed out for fangs. I couldn't see. I was hungry, but could think clearly My sergeant gave me his shirt. I took it and wiped my face. I was much taller than him. He was roughly 6'8", and my original height was 5'9", and I towered over him. He took me back to camp. The other soldiers were about to shoot me before my sergeant stopped them. They were still wary of me, and I don't blame them. The upper echelon wanted to send me to rip the enemies apart. But Sergeant Bill, the one who stopped me from going all the way, said no. I remember it like it was still a movie. They got a phone call during the meeting. I don't hear exactly what they said, but after they got off, they told me I was leaving. And about a week later, I was shipped back to the States.
Wow. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Don't you worry about it, dearie. It's been a very long time since that happened.
Well, I have one question I wanted to ask you before we ended the interview. Is that okay with you, of course?
Of course. Go right ahead, sweetheart.
What happened to your daughter?
I would rather not say, but if you must have an answer to this, she did not have Sergeant Bill with her.
Oh, I am truly sorry for your loss, and I apologize for bringing it up.
It's okay, dearie. You didn't know. How about I give you a quick recipe for a snack, so we don't end this on a downer?
Of course, if you want to.
You take a tortilla, grab some tomato sauce, spread it on it, grab some cheese, put it on, fold it so there's no seams, and toast it in the toaster. You can add extra ingredients. I like to add some vegetables. But since you and your audience don't have my inflection, you can use turkey bacon, sausage, or even pepperoni. That was mine and my boys' favorite snack while I was raising them. I am told by my younger grandson that my eldest still makes them from time to time.
I'm going to have to try that now. I would suggest that any younger viewers in the audience ask for help from their parents or guardians if they want to try to make this at home. But on that note, I will have to end the show. I hope you enjoyed the interview with the insightful Wendigo Grandma. And remember...
Oh, can I say it, dearie?
Oh, why, of course you can.
And make sure to check your closets, for you never know what spirits may be lurking there.
And I will see you next time on the Cultist Den.